Lindsay here with Pilates on Demand. Welcome to your dynamic mobility and stretching workout. This is a home routine, meaning you don't need any equipment. It is going to be just over 20 minutes, so it's great if you want to fit this in a couple times a week to get the entire body more flexible. And it's dynamic, meaning it's constantly moving. So if you don't like stretching because it's slow and you just sit in it, that's not this class. This is a different kind of stretching. So if you get really bored with that, give this a go. You might like it. So you don't need any equipment. I would have a mat though, or a pillow or a towel to just pad your knees when we head to the floor. We are going to start standing, then we'll make our way down to the ground. So guys, each exercise or each mobility move is going to be 1 minute and then we'll move on. We are gonna literally target every muscle group head to toe, so you should feel completely stretched up after this workout. And you know, it is constantly moving, so you will probably build up some heat. You might get a little sweaty. So let's get to it. Our first exercise for our mobility routine is our high lunges. So you're gonna step your left foot forward, right toes tuck behind you, where hips distance in the leg and the back leg is straight, front knee is bent. Reach those arms up, and then you're gonna step it together and switch the legs. So right foot forward, left toes are tucked behind you. Left knee is lengthened, right knee is bent. You're gonna reach up and then step it to the front. So for this one, you're keeping your back thigh engaged. It's not like a regular lunge that we would do in like a workout if we just call it lunge. So I want that back heel to drive back and your hips to scoop up and forward, and that's gonna help target your hip flexor. So what we're getting the stretch in is the front of your thigh of the leg that is straight. Give me one more right here. Good, and then we're gonna step it together. Okay, we're gonna go knee hugs. So you're gonna bring your right knee up to your chest, give it a squeeze, and then alternate it to the other side. This is gonna stretch out your hamstring and your glutes. Remember, this is gonna progressively get a little bit more intense. We're just trying to warm things up. It's gonna require a little bit of balance. So if you need a wall or chair, don't be afraid to grab it. Good, so I want you to keep a nice open chest here. Stomach muscles are tight. I don't know if we'll ever do a workout together that I don't tell you to drop your shoulders and tighten your core. So here's your reminder. If you don't want instructions, you can absolutely put me on mute and watch your Netflix and just kind of follow along. If you want to know and feel a little bit deeper into the exercises, then keep me on. Let's go for 3 more. Good, last one right here. We're gonna take it into an upper body move. We got some side bends, so just plant your feet firmly, hips distance parallel. You're gonna take that right arm, palm faces the floor, reach up and over, and then we're gonna switch to the left. So I want your first goal to be fully extend your top arm and then lean over. So this does not count. Active stretching, so engage your tricep to lengthen out through that elbow. And then getting a side view. When you do a side bend, you don't want to twist. So that means that my nose is going to point straight forward the entire time rather than something like that. Yeah, so you want to lean your head and your top arm back as if there's a wall that you're leaning back into. Looking good, guys. Oh, I love a nice lat stretch. I feel like this always gets so tight. Give me 2 more, last 2. Last 1. Okay, we're gonna go for alternating dancer poses. So you're gonna take your right hand and grab the outside of the right leg. Scoop your hips under as you kick the leg back, and then you're gonna alternate. Remember, you can put this free hand on a wall or a chair. If you wanna challenge the balance, it's okay if you're wobbly. Right? It's not about having something perfect here, it's about getting better. But what I do want you to pay attention to is when we go into the back bend, that we don't lead with our butt sticking out. You actually want to do the opposite. You want to press your hips forward and curl them up. Definitely a good exercise to keep the stomach muscles tight. And that's going to allow us to do a back bend without getting, injured or irritate that lower back area. Good, let's take it 1 more each way. Okay, Okay, next one is gonna be a little fancy. Okay, so we're gonna go for the knees and add a twist. So right knee comes up. You're gonna grab the outside of the right knee with the left hand and twist to the right, reaching that right arm to the back of the room. And we're gonna switch. So left knee comes up, grab the outside of the left knee with the right hand and twist open to the left. So what we're looking for is getting this rotation through your waist. So once you're in the twist, your knees and your hips should still point to the front wall. So it's opposite hand to opposite outer thigh. Like I said, if you need any help with the balance, don't be afraid to kind of like crawl your hand on a wall or a chair to help you get into this twist. But when you're in the twist, really push your shoulders down. So I don't want it to look like that right here, not too cute. Drop the shoulders down and think of the top of your head reaching for the ceiling. Good, last one right here. We're gonna take it to center and do some standing cat-cows. This is an all-time favorite. So soft knees, you're gonna interlace your fingers and tuck, kind of like you're crunching your midsection. Push your hands forward, big stretch through the upper back, and then lift up nice and tall and find an arch through the spine. Good, breathe out and round. Breathe in and arch. You should literally do these every day. Your back will be so happy. Happy for you, happy. Nice to you. We want the spine to be nice to us. No low back pain here. Okay, so what you should feel in your shoulder blade muscles, when we round the back, your shoulder blades should move apart. And we arch the back, I want you to drop your shoulders down and pull them together. Okay, breathe out, push in, fully extend through your elbows. And then when you reach up, same thing, fully extend. So not here, this is kind of like half doing it. Lengthen, lift, and arch. Let's take that one more time. Breathe out and round. Breathe in and arch. Okay, so you're gonna now take it to a hamstring stretch. So let's go a little wider than hips distance. Feet are parallel. Bend your knees. Slide your hands down like you're doing a deadlift and bring your hands either to your thighs or your shins, depending on your flexibility. Now you're going to lengthen your chest forward, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, and we're gonna alternate. So one knee bent, one leg straight, belly button is tight, chest is pushing forward, and your hips are reaching behind your heels. So I want your back to be as flat as possible. Okay, you can also think about engaging your quad. So the leg that you straighten, squeeze the thigh muscle up, and then relax it as you bend the knee. Good, let's go for 3 more, for 3. And 2, and 1. Okay, bend the knees or roll it up. We're gonna take it into a tricep move. So alternating arms, right arm up, elbow forward. You're gonna take a big lift and then side bend over to the left, release, and let's switch. Left arm up, bend the elbow, big lift so we're tall, and then side bend. Okay, so just continue to alternate that. When you do the tricep, try not to have your elbow pointing out to the side, but rather straight forward. Okay, this one is gonna be really useful to get your rib cage pulled in. It will just make it a little more intense of a stretch. Okay, who's starting to break a sweat? I am, but it's also 105 degrees outside here, so it's like, even with the AC blasting, it's like your body just knows it's that hot. Okay, let's go one more each way. Last one. Okay, we're taking it into a balancing hamstring stretch. So from the side, abs in, tall spine, wrap your hands around your right thigh, and then extend the right leg straight forward by flexing through the heel, and then we're gonna alternate. Left knee up to tabletop, wrap your hands around the thigh, drive the heel out. So your goal is not to get your leg like super high. It's first off to have level hips. So you don't wanna be like hiking the hip of the leg that you're stretching. You want it to sink down. If you are more flexible, you can lower the hands more towards your calf or even your foot, but I'd rather you keep your back really tall here. Okay, so from the front, little different view. I'll show you holding the thighs. This one, engage your quads. Squeeze the thigh. That's gonna help open that hamstring up. Or behind the calves. Looking good. Last one right here. We're gonna take this into a deep squat now. So we're getting a little bit lower to the ground. Okay, so feet are kind of wide. I want your heels down, toes turned out. You're gonna drop your hips. Now maybe you're here and you do this little shift right and left to open the hips. If you're more advanced, we can have the hands on the floor or at the heart. You're gonna internally rotate your left knee and then your right knee. So I'm actually trying to not turn my hips too much, which is pretty hard. I'm just trying to turn the leg in the socket, in the socket, a double in. If it's really, really crazy with your hands up, ooh, I'm getting a little flushed. I can feel the work. You can put your hands down and do this. Okay, if you feel too much pressure in the knee, remember, take an option that works best for you, not just what I'm saying. You know your body best. You gotta listen to that. That's number one. It's different every day too. Woo! Okay, last one. I was like watching the timer on this one. Let's stand up. We're gonna go alternating standing splits. So we're gonna come all the way down into a forward bend, hands on the ground. You're gonna reach your right leg up, straighten it. So really lengthen the knee, point the toes and lean into your standing leg. And then let's switch that out. So left leg's gonna lift, point your toes and reach up. Engage your leg muscles of your lifted leg to get it higher and straighter. So for this, we're gonna let the hips open up because it just feels really nice. You're gonna take it at your own pace. If you wanna hold it a little longer, go for it. I'm even feeling the inner thighs on this one. Good, we got about 15 more seconds. I see a long blonde hair on my sock. Okay, last one here. Good, and then feet to the ground and roll it on up. So we're gonna do some really low, deep lunges with our feet turned out. So widen your feet, really, really wide. You're gonna bend the right knee, press it open, bring the hands to the floor, and turn the left leg out, flex the foot. We're gonna walk it left. So bend the left knee and flex the right foot up. The knee that is bent, I want that heel on the floor. So if it's lifting, that's okay, but you're gonna do your best to push it down. Both legs are trying to turn out. So I'm rotating both knees to the back wall. If this is way too challenging down on the ground, put your hands on a countertop or chair and come up here. Ideally, the chest is trying to lift up. So we're not trying to be like here on the ground, right? You wanna try to get your heart back over the hips. I mean, to the best of our ability. Last two. And last one. We got our last standing move. You're gonna walk those feet together. We are taking it into standing pigeons. So you're gonna cross your right ankle over the left thigh and then push your hips back as you sit into an imaginary chair. We're gonna switch. Left ankle over the right thigh and reach your hips back. So you can always put your hands on something in front of you for the balance. Watch that when you sit into the chair, that standing knee doesn't shoot forward, right? We're pulling the hips back first and then lowering down into the squat. Ooh, we haven't really gotten too much into the hips yet. This feels tight, am I right? How cute is my workout set too? When I get new workout clothes, I'm so motivated to work out. It's very true. Okay, let's take it one more each side. Maybe get a little lower because we can. Okay, last one. We are taking it to the ground, guys. We're gonna move into some stretches for our feet. So I'm gonna show this backwards actually. So you're gonna be kneeling with your toes tucked. So like calf raised position. Sit on the heels and then lift up and untuck your toes and sit on your heels. Lift, tuck, so that's the arches of the feet stretching. Lift and untuck. That's the top of the foot stretch. So when you have your heels up, try to pull them together so they line up with the knees. Keep it going. We got 30 seconds here. We've already made it to the ground. So really, I think the hardest part was all the standing stuff. It was lots of balance, right? But if you get really bored with stretching, that's kind of a good thing because it keeps your mind more engaged because you're trying not to fall over. Okay, last one each way. So the next move, we're gonna just do it on one side and then we'll switch for the following minute. Okay, so let's step the left foot forward and wide. You're gonna drop your hips down and reach your arms up. Now you're gonna push your hips back, straighten the front leg and your spine. Put your arms back, open your chest. Let's alternate. So low lunge, tuck the tailbone, reach the arms up, big breath in, and then flat spine, kind of like we practiced earlier, standing, and open up through your chest. Inhale, low lunge, and then exhale, press it back. I know I just said it was getting a little easier, but this is definitely a hard move because it requires a lot of core and balance. Even though we're not necessarily balancing on our feet anymore, we're more so balancing on those knees or a singular knee. Good, last one right here. Let's hold this for 1 second. Get really long in that spine and then step it in and let's switch it over. So we're gonna take this low lunge on the right, drop the hips. Remember, tuck under, inhale, reach up. Now push your hips back, straighten the front leg and flex those toes. We have our half split for that hamstring stretch. So let's shift it to the front, low lunge, lift the torso out of the hips, and then press it back, hamstring stretch. Okay, one thing I do want you to try to work on here is keeping your left hip over your left knee. So I know that's really hard and the hips kind of want to sit over to the left, so draw that left hip in, and let's take it to the low lunge and the hamstring stretch. One more time each way. Big breath in, low lunge, and then best hamstring stretch yet. Push the hips back, reach that chest forward, and step it to kneeling. We're gonna do some pigeon rolls. So take the left foot forward and walk the foot across the mat, bending the left knee to the left. Back knee points straight down. Tint your fingers and frame the outside of the mat. You're gonna wave your chest to the floor and then back up. Now it's up to you how much of a back bend you take here. You can really sweep it back at the top if that feels good on your spine. If you don't like that, then don't take it. Wave it down and open across that chest at the top. Okay, it's totally fine if your front leg is not in a 90-degree angle. That is not necessary. For me, that doesn't feel really good on my body, and that's always what I promote in my classes, is make sure it feels right on your joints, and that's the position you should take. Okay, guys, let's swap it. So you're gonna take that right leg forward, left knee points to the ground, belly button in, and we're gonna tint those fingertips nice and wide. Wave it to the floor and roll it up through the chest. Now the correct position in your back leg is that the back knee faces the ground. So we're very parallel in hips and in that back knee. Good, and if you want to be a little bit more expressive with it, you can really wave it back and walk the hands back into the back bend and walk them forward into the fold. Looking good. Okay, we got about 15 more seconds, and then we're gonna come to kneeling and get into some wrist stretching, which I think is really great. I always feel like the hands and the wrists and the feet get overlooked. Last one. Okay, take it to kneeling, and you're gonna plant your hands so that your palms are down and your fingers point to your knees. Now take your hands a little bit wider, and you can hold it here. If it's really intense, bring the knees closer to the hands. Otherwise, we're gonna do some cat-cows. So you're gonna lift your chest and your hips, and you're gonna push away from the floor as you tuck your hips. Okay, I'm gonna bring my knees back because that feels good for me, but remember, that's gonna put more weight in the hands. So if that doesn't work for you, no problem. Good, when you arch your back, pull your shoulders away from your neck. And when you go into the C curve, you still want the shoulders away from the neck. So don't push them up onto the neck. Keep them pulling down and spread them apart. Inhale, arch. And exhale to round. Okay, one more. Inhale, arch. exhale to round. Okay, you guys, this one is a toughie. It is frog pose with internal rotation. So from kneeling, you're gonna walk your knees apart. So we're out here, knee in line with hip is ideal. If it's really tight, it can go further back, but you know, if we want more, bring it up. So belly button in, tuck your hips. You're gonna lift your right foot off the ground and then set it down, and then left foot off the ground. So like we did in the deep squat, the internal rotation, we're not really trying to move the hips. We're moving the leg in the hip socket. If you need more, you just kind of have to wiggle the legs further apart. You can also come down lower in that upper body. But remember, the upper body is supporting you here. So like, I don't want to see something like this, where you're just like sinking into your joints. So be nice and strong, kind of like you're in a plank of sorts. Good, one more each way. Nice, okay. You're just gonna move your knees back together and lay on your belly. We're gonna do cobras with a neck circle. We'll alternate the neck circle each round. So hands wide, tuck the pelvis. We're gonna roll the spine up, circle the head right, and then roll it down. You're gonna alternate that. Roll up, drop your shoulders, circle the head left. I don't think I did that right, but we'll do it again. Roll up, just alternate. I think I messed that up twice, but we'll keep going. I'll do 3 the other way. If you've done it correctly, you keep doing it correctly. Good, drop your shoulders down your back. Oh, that feels so good. We need all these back and neck stretches. Now, if this is really intense on your back, you can have your hands further forward and not come as high up. You can even stay on your elbows. Okay, let's all do one more right here. Big breath in. Give me that neck roll. And then wave it up to kneeling. Okay, guys, our last move is puppy pose. And we're gonna dynamically shift right and left. So you're gonna take your hands nice and wide, belly button in, drop your chest down, and you're gonna sway from the right arm to the left arm. Now, this is a big stretch in your chest and in your lats. If it doesn't work for you, more of like a child's pose, okay? So your body is being supported by your thighs. If you're way more stretchy in your spine, the knees can go a lot further back here, right? And then we can take puppy pose from here. So you're trying to eventually stick your hips high to the sky. Hips will stay above the knees unless you need to take the modification, no problem. Good. Leaning more weight from the right hand to the left hand. Let's go for 4 and 3, for 2 and 1. Good, bring it through center and walk it all the way in. Oh my goodness, you guys. Give yourself a high five. You made it through that whole mobility routine, and it really was no joke, and I actually am sweating, and so I hope you are too. This is an awesome routine for you to do a couple times a week or weekly, whatever your schedule allows. It hits everything head to toe, and it would also be a really great routine to do before something more intense like a weightlifting routine or a run. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this class. Let me know any feedback in the comments below. I also love when you guys come up with routines or just something you want to see on the channel. So if you have an idea, please drop it there. My name's Lindsay, and this is Pilates On Demand, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next workout, wherever or whatever that may be. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Bye, guys.